I was 22 and working as a night security guard at a steel plant in Pennsylvania. The job was simple: walk the perimeter, check the machinery, and report anything unusual. The place was vast, filled with massive furnaces, conveyor belts, and molten metal. It was quiet at night, which made it all the more eerie. One night, I was partnered with Parker, a new guy who rarely spoke and always seemed to be on edge. Parker didn't share much about his past, but I could tell he wasn't your average security guard. He moved with a certain awareness, as if he was constantly watching for something or someone. As we made our rounds, I began noticing that Parker was scanning the surroundings with a focus that didn't quite fit the job. It made me nervous, but I kept quiet. Halfway through the shift, he turned to me and, in a low voice, said, "Stay close tonight." It wasn't a request, it was a warning. Around 2 a.m., I heard footsteps echoing down the corridor. We weren't supposed to have anyone else on site, and the plant was a fortress, locked down tight. Parker's eyes narrowed, and he gestured for me to get behind one of the metal beams. We crouched in silence as the footsteps grew closer. In the dim light, I saw a shadowy figure moving toward us. Parker barely breathed, but I could sense he was ready for something. Suddenly, he sprang forward, grabbing the intruder and pinning him to the wall. There was a brief struggle, and then silence. Parker pulled back, and I saw the man slumped against the wall, unconscious. Parker didn't say a word, just motioned for us to keep moving. When we finished the shift, he looked at me and said, "Some things, you're better off not knowing." He walked away, leaving me alone in the plant, replaying the night in my mind, unsure of who or what Parker really was. I never asked Parker about that night. I figured if he wanted to tell me, he would have. But something changed after that. Parker began to drift further from everyone at the plant, barely speaking or even acknowledging me. It was as if he was a shadow himself, just passing through. A few weeks later, Parker didn't show up for his shift. No call, no explanation. He simply vanished. The foreman said Parker had quit, moved on. But I couldn't shake the feeling that there was more to it. On one of my rounds alone, I found a small slip of paper jammed under my locker. It read, in Parker's unmistakable handwriting, "You'll see them too." That's all it said. The words sent a chill down my spine. For weeks after, I couldn't shake a strange sense of being watched. The plant seemed darker somehow, the shadows deeper, the quiet more oppressive. Every now and then, I'd hear those footsteps echoing down empty hallways, or catch a glimpse of movement in the corner of my eye. Even now, years later, I still think back to those nights and wonder what Parker knew, what he saw, and what he left behind for me to find.